hey, good to see you again. How you doing? No, really, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good too. I got a few things to report out this week though. This is my week number 3 weight loss journey for myself, Lyn Lindbergh. I am going to assume that if the topic of weight loss is triggering for you, that you'll just turn this podcast off and move along. I'm also going to assume that you've already listened to episode, or what I call week number 0, which kind of set up the framework for this. Not going to repeat all that. I'm just going to dive in. This is week number 3. So I have put myself on a weight loss journey, and which we know it's weight loss. I'm going for strength. I'm going for speed. I'm going for health, which is going to result in weight loss. We're going to talk about that a little bit more and why I'm using the number on the scale as a piece later. This is week number 3 in earnest of doing this with focus and intention. This was an interesting week for me because week 3 is usually a week where you can start beginning to see, is this going to last? Is this doable? Because you can kind of do anything for a couple of weeks. Most people can kind of like grit and do anything for a couple of weeks. And this is where we're beginning to see if it's sustainable or not. So a couple of caveats I want to give out there. As far as context, a couple of questions that came up. Am I using fat burners, diet pills, weight loss pills? There's a new weight loss pill out right now. Am I using any of that? No, not at all. The way I'm doing this is completely natural in the context. I know we got to define our terms here. I'm eating nothing but real food. I am using 2 supplements. 2 things out are technically supplements, but they're real foods. So I'm doing some collagen protein powder, which we've talked about some. Part of the reason I'm doing that is because there's some evidence that shows that the collagen protein powder can help your hair, skin, nails stay strong. And a big piece of me is going into menopause or soon, or will be, or pre-menopause. I'm not quite sure where I am. Haven't been to the doctor for about a year because I've been doing pretty good. But going into menopause, the skin is not as elastic. So that's one thing I'm doing to really help make sure that is giving it every advantage I can. That the collagen protein powder I'm using is completely natural. Have we had the double-blind placebo studies on all natural collagen protein powders to see if they actually really work as well as other things? Sort of. There's some evidence showing it, but we don't have like the slam dunk. But it's one thing that I'm doing that seems to work for me. I seem to notice a difference beyond the placebo effect. The other supplement I'm using is a fairly natural whey protein powder. So that's a complete protein. It's a way for me to get my full protein in the day because I'm eating pretty high protein. And it helps me get that protein in a given day in a way that has lower calories. Beyond those 2 things, every single thing I am eating that has a calorie to it is actual food that you would recognize in a grocery store, not in a box, not out of a can. Is that true? Never out of a can. No, I've done some chicken out of a can, but you would recognize that as chicken. And I've done some bread, some, high fiber, whole food bread, not this fake throw fiber in it to make you think you're healthy, but actual seeds and stuff for fiber bread. So I just wanted to call that out there because I don't think I made the assumption that y'all knew that that's the way I was doing it. Going for that holy grail of setting up this weight loss in a way that is eating foods I actually enjoy to eat and eating in a way that I can actually be happy and not miserable. Jury's still out. So let me talk about what happened this week. I went into this week with a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of extra confidence because I was super happy with the results of the scale in week 1 and week 2. You can go back and listen to that if you're curious. And I was really proud of myself for feeling like I had figured out the hunger quotient for me. So it's eating high protein, not extreme protein, fiber. That was my magic aha. I was making sure I had enough fiber in my diet to help keep me full. And these are things we know, like fiber will help keep you full. It will. But then when you're actually reducing calories to that point where you can still stay in a healthy realm of calories, all of a sudden, fiber is one of those things that's easy to lose track of because you're just trying to get in the protein. And so anyhow, so I figured out the whole fiber thing, realized, wow, okay, this is amazing. I am eating in a way that I am not hungry all the time. I'm like, yeah. So that was all great until Wednesday. So part of the reason weight loss journey now versus other times is the level of stress in my life is minuscule, nothing compared to what it was previously. So stress eating, depressed eating is not so much something I have to worry about right now, which is really awesome, which is one of the reasons I was like, yep, I'm going to do it now. Now is the time. I know some people say you got to do it right away. Like if you want to lose weight, you got to do it now, no matter what, because if it was important to you, you would do it. I don't know. I think life is always way more complicated than that. Maybe I just make things complicated. But I really like to see the whole picture of someone's life. I like to see the whole picture of my life. And I realized looking at the whole picture of my life, now stress eating was, not going to be this constant 24/7 topic for me until Wednesday. Wednesday, I had a speaking engagement and I went to a local chapter for the blind, a visually impaired group. I love it. They call themselves VIP, which is visually impaired persons group. I always think of VIP like, I think stretch limousine with the red carpet and everyone taking photography of, the famous people. But I got invited to speak to a group of VIPs. It was probably about a 40-minute drive away from my house. And since COVID, I have not done a whole lot of speaking in front of groups. I've done some, but not a whole lot. And that particular day, I had early morning, client, class, client, quick, change my clothes, go speak, boom. It was just like boom, 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 boom. So it was like a one after the other day, just boom, 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 boom. Oh, and then I did my speaking engagement and then I had to wrap it up and I had to get home and teach another class and then do another presentation to another group of people at 6:00 at night. So it was a 12-hour day. I got myself tired and stressed and it was good stuff. And the speaking engagement, it went really great. It was a really great time. I loved it. But I got myself to a point where I was craving anything junk. I was just like, if there is a pizza in the car with me, I always say pizza, don't I? If there's a pizza in the car with me, I would have eaten half of it on the way home. I mean, I was just like really, really craving. In fact, I did the speaking engagement, talked to a group of people. It was a small group, like 30 people probably. And on my way home, I had thought, I had planned to have snacks to eat in the car on the way home so I wouldn't arrive home starving. You know what I packed for myself? I packed myself a bag of carrots. I packed myself a bag of stupid carrots. And carrots are not stupid. Carrots are wonderful. They have lots of fiber. That's why I got them. They're good for you. They're fresh. They're healthy. I get done with the speaking engagement. I'm just amped, full of adrenaline. I got to get back home to teach another class. I get in the car. I pull out my bag of carrots and I just start nomming on them on the way home. And I had just like inhaled the entire bag of carrots before I had any idea that I was even eating them. So I'm laughing at myself because I'm like, well, first of all, oh my goodness, good thing it was just carrots because of that concept. I'm trying really hard to work on that concept of you have your ceiling and your floor. Your ceiling is how high you can go. What kind of foods do I have in my kitchen? How healthy are those foods? How easy are those foods to grab? Where's your ceiling? I also have my floor. What kind of crap and junk is in my kitchen? What kind of things that are not going to help me make my goals that are in my kitchen? So if I have a moment of weakness, I hit the floor. What's on the floor? Well, I went into my car and I had an absolute moment of weakness. I hit the floor, and what was down there for me? A stupid bag of carrots. So I didn't actually fall that far. So part of me was proud of myself. Part of me still wanted the pizza. Part of me's laughing. Part of me's like, oh my gosh, this shouldn't be so hard. Why is it even a thing? Why is it even a deal? So the thing about I noticed too is when I'm really craving things, I was really alert. So I drive home, boom, 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 boom. It's Wednesday. I get home, I teach my class. And then I realize that Wednesday evening, I am drained, I am sad, and I am weepy. Like everything that night was making me cry. Like everything, like I have my son and I'm going to be an empty nester soon and he's going to go away to college and oh, I will miss him. The years went by so fast. And then I like, oh, let's watch a comedy. Like, let's turn on some Netflix. Let's watch a comedy show. And, something stupid happens on the comedy show and I start crying watching a comedy. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you, Lynn? Like, is it your week 3 of a weight loss journey? Is this what it is? Is this what weight loss is? You start eating less calories, but you do your darndest to do it perfect, and you do your darndest, well, not perfect, then you start beating yourself up about saying the word perfect. Don't say the P word. But then you start realizing like, oh my gosh, like I've lost some weight, but I've got a long way to go. Like, is this whole weight loss thing just going to make me an emotional wreck? And I don't want to live that way. That's not happy and healthy. I want to be happy. I want to have a low calorie, happy, healthy time, I want this to be an easy, crazy carousel ride. Yeah. So I somehow started surfing social media and was looking for some inspiration because I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at pulling myself up by my bootstraps. And I was like feeling sad, feeling a little scared, like, oh my gosh. And then I went back to one of the other things I did is I've got a folder on my phone of things that are inspiring to me and pick me up and help me get motivated. So I'm like, that's one of my tools I got. So I went back there. And one of them that resonated with me was actually a Gary Vaynerchuk quote. Yeah. If you know Gary Vaynerchuk, he's great. He's got a mouth like a sailor. I aspire to be able to swear like him and not give a shit. I just don't have it in me. I don't know. But it really it inspired me to double down again and remind myself, I need to take full accountability for my choices. I need to take full accountability for my life, my happiness, what I'm doing. And I reminded myself again, even though this totally freaks me out, but that if my mood was suffering so bad and I was weepy and crying and feeling depressed, and if I wasn't going to be able to take myself out of it, I was going to have to look at adding more food back in and pausing the weight loss journey to make sure that it's not the reduced calories that's causing this to whack out. And that freaked me out because that is not what I want to happen here. I know textbook. I knew Wednesday night. I knew textbook. I should be fine. I mean, like, my gosh, I was eating 100 grams of protein a day. I was getting my 50 grams of fat every day. Like, I was doing it. I was doing the things. So I went to bed. And laying in bed, wondering also, oh, wait a minute. I've had a few days of sleep deprivation too. That could be part of it. So the worry and the mood swing and the low calories and the lack of sleep, I was like, I need to just go to sleep and see how it goes. So I woke up Thursday morning, still a little sad. Still, I don't know, just processing this whole like gonna be an empty nester thing. Like, wow, it's yeah, well, you're not my therapist, but I got one for that. And I was like, you know what? I remember too, emotions, a part of emotions is looking at them, breathing through them, facing them. Part of it is sometimes we just have things that need to be worked out with our body and movement. And sometimes meditation and movement can really help. So Thursday, I teach 2 classes back to back on Thursday. So I had client class, 3 hours of client facing right away in the morning. I was feeling so much better after teaching those classes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then later, I ate breakfast and I felt fantastic. I felt good. I felt better. Looking at my notes here. Thursday, I went to bed early also. So I'm like, you know what? It could be a sleep thing. So 2 nights in a row, I went to bed early. And when I say early, that means I'm getting 9 or 10 hours of sleep. Yeah, lots of sleep. So that's it. That was a big piece. I woke up Friday, felt like a freaking rock star. I was like, oh, thank God. Yay. Hallelujah. I feel good. Okay. I felt good. Part of it too is Thursday, I had a high sodium dinner and I think my sodium might have also been a little bit low. And I had a minestrone soup for dinner with some protein bone broth in it. And that I think that sodium I might have needed. But you eat high sodium, the body is like, aha, you ate some salt. You're going to gain 3 pounds overnight. And I know that. I intellectually know that. I intellectually knew I had a high sodium day. I'm going to retain some water. The scale is not going to be what I want it to do. I know this. Still, I get on the scale knowing that's what's going to happen. Look down at the scale. That's exactly what happened. And I'm like, damn it. Nope. Don't let that wreck your day. Don't let that, So I went through that. And then I actually bought 2 things of this minestrone soup. It's actually Olive Garden minestrone soup. The sodium is ridiculous, but the actual ingredients and what's in it, it's actually pretty darn good. It's not bad. So I had that for 2 days in a row, knowing I was like massively sodiuming up. And I was like, you know what? I can't worry about that. I'm not going to worry about that right now. It sounds good. It tastes good. So let me pause here too and just say one of the things that I've had on hand that has been really helpful for me is seltzer waters with no calories and no real like sweeteners either. So they're flavored, but they're not sweeteners. So the ones I've been buying, just because my Costco has them and they taste great to me, is Costco's been selling this Pellegrino in a can seltzer water. And if I'm feeling a little snacky or a little peggish, grabbing one of those seems to actually really stave that off and help me regulate back to not being hungry and snacky when I know I'm not hungry and snacky, right? So that's part of this whole journey, is I'm not letting myself actually get hungry, but I'm also trying to listen to my body and get better at telling the difference between when I'm actually hungry versus when I'm stressed versus when I want to board eat. It's all a big thing. So with that, I am drinking 2 or sometimes 3 cans of this Pellegrino a day. And that's something that's just helping me. I don't necessarily think that's for everybody, but that's something that's been helpful for me. Friday comes along and I actually feel awesome Friday. I feel great. I have energy. I am not hungry. I'm not a bit sad. I'm not a bit grumpy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can conquer the world a little bit, which is really awesome. And I wasn't hungry that day. So my calories were actually a little bit lower than they should have been. I only had a 900 calorie day, which is too low. But I wasn't hungry at all. Yeah. So I was like, I'm taking it because there's going to be other days. Yeah. Saturday comes, scale still hasn't budged, but I had that salty couple of days. And so I know intellectually to tell myself to just chill out, not worry about that. And Sunday was Mother's Day. That's right. So a couple of things that I did proactively that really helped me was I actually went out of town for 24 hours for Mother's Day, including driving 3 hours to get there and back. I packed most of my food. So then a lot of times the routine would be me and my son, we get in the car, we start driving down the road, we pack in a hurry, and we get halfway down to Portland where my family is. And we're like, hey, let's pull over and grab some nice, hamburger and fries and a milkshake. Like that's kind of the routine. I had packed myself a tuna fish sandwich with avocado and a nice high fiber, naturally high fiber, not just added a bunch of crap in there, sandwich. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually not feeling peckish for this burger and fries. Thank goodness. So I'm just going to roll with it. So I let myself get a diet soda, which I know people might pick it apart. I don't care. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm just telling you the real scoop so you can see what a real case study is. I'm not going to pretend anything. So I got myself a Diet Coke. My son got himself his whole meal. I ate my tuna sandwich. Not only was I totally fine, not hungry, satisfied, had energy, had fed my body with what it needed, I was also proud of myself. Like I'm doing this and I'm not hungry, and I'm feeling fine, and I don't have a big gut bomb of a burger and fries in my stomach, so I am more alert. Like that's exciting. That I felt good about that. So Mother's Day looked really pretty similar to my birthday brunch a week ago. So if you listened to week 2 with the birthday brunch, you got that whole shtick there. It was pretty much the same. The one thing that had changed for me though, now being 3 full weeks into this, when you do low calorie, high protein, high fiber, getting the amounts of fats you have, your sugar plummets to almost zero. Now this is not keto. This is not ketogenic, but the sugar that you eat, that I've been eating, has gone down to almost zero. So when dessert came up, I was going to do dessert. I got myself a slice of that absolutely beautiful Oreo cookies and cream ice cream cake. And I got myself a small little slice. And to me, a small slice was like a centimeter wide. Yeah, a small slice of a big cake. I ate it. I enjoyed it. About 15 minutes later, my stomach revolted. My stomach hurt so bad. And my stomach was like, what the hell did you just do to me? This is not okay. You were doing so good to me for so well. And now you give me this shit and I have to process it and I'm not liking it. So I'm just like, I'm going to get this through your system as fast as I can, Lynn. Use your imagination. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what I think about that. I'm a little conflicted because I'm thinking 12 things about it, but I'll tell you 3. One of them is I'm excited that I didn't really crave the whole serving of cake. I'm excited that for me to have eaten that whole serving of ice cream cake, my body would actually have said, don't do that. Like you don't even like this. The amount that I did eat was more than enough. My body was actually done. It did not want more. So that was exciting to me. It also feels a little hoity-toity, like, ooh, look at me. Ooh. But I'm going to take it. I earned it. I did 3 weeks of this. My body's adjusting. My body's liking this, great way of eating. I'm going to take it. I also found it absolutely fascinating, though, to think about how the body adapts. Because if that was me a year ago when I was really stressed out and I was doing a lot more stress eating, I probably could have had 2 full slices of that ice cream cake and it would have felt totally fine, totally great. And I would have maybe wanted a 3rd one for breakfast the next morning. So I found that really fascinating to compare how in just a few weeks of changing my diet that it just feels so much easier. Now, does that mean I'm never going to eat a whole thing of ice cream cake ever again for the rest of my life? No. Does that mean I'm going to judge you if you're with me and you have 2 slices of cake or even 1? Never. No. This is not about you. This is about me and my life. And I am not about judging what you eat. But I do find it really, really compellingly interesting. So there's the stories from the week. Holy moly, we had a lot to report out this week. Let's go in through the data and the facts. So my data geeks who are like, just tell me, did you lose weight this week, Lynn? You said you gained 3 pounds. Did you actually lose any weight? What did you do? So here we go. Here's my stats. Calories per day. I averaged 1,337 calories per day. I averaged 108 grams of protein a day, 48 grams of fat a day this last week, 18 grams of fiber a day. I started weight at the start of the week was 174.8. Yes, we are splitting hairs here, and I am very acutely aware of that. Ending weight for the week, even after having that 3-pound jump when I did the salt, I still on Thursday and Friday, by Sunday, I still ended at 174.1 for a total net loss of 0.7 pounds for the week. I have a total loss since I started this whole thing, total loss of 8.6 pounds so far. So pretty proud of myself. I feel like this is a really 2 things. One is I feel like this is awesome. This is great because if I'd worked this hard and the scale didn't budge, I would be depressed. I'd be like, what the hell? What? But I know, trust the process, actually do it, be honest about what I'm doing. And it's happening, finally happening. So that's really exciting. I don't know that I'm going to see a change this rapidly and this fast because it's feeling a little too fast for me. I know it was only 0.7 pounds for this last week, but 8.6 pounds over like 3.5 weeks, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, so the only other couple things that I want to talk about is the goal. My actual goal is not a number on the scale. My actual goal is energy, speed, and strength. But energy, it's like, how do you measure that, right? I mean, there's my timer. I got to go be somewhere. Now you know what my timer is. So my energy is sustained. And I haven't gone in and measured my speed, and I haven't gone in and deliberately measured my strength. That stuff takes time, and it waxes and wanes week over week. And so that's why the scale becomes just a super quick 2-second thing you can do just to see, knowing that if you're eating and exercising well, that it all works out in the wash. Yes. So that's it. That's the story. So I'll be back next week with week number 4. We'll see how we go. I've got nothing special going on for week number 4. So I'm really hoping it's a boring week and I don't have another round of sad. I hope I got through that. But gosh darn it, I'm a human. So we'll see. Alrighty. This is brought to you by Couch to Active. We provide online group fitness, 15 classes a week live for individuals who are blind, visually impaired, or have perfect vision, and personal training sessions, all remote, all online. Couch to Active. Head on over there now, check it out, reach out to us. We would love to help you get going on your journey too. That's couch2active.com.